You are now entering the world of a movie review. A world full of drama, joy, ridicule, movie spoilers, unpopular opinions, and adult humor for as far as the eye can see. Welcome to An Evening at the Movies.
For as far as the eye can see. Greetings and salutations, and it feels like it's been an eternity since we've been here.
Does it? I mean, we've thrown release day out the window mostly because of me. So sorry, everybody. If you were expecting us on Wednesday, just expect the unexpected from now on, as Julie Chen would say.
I think it's safe to say that probably at least the rest of February, you'll get what you get whenever you get it.
And you won't get upset.
Exactly. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. But
yeah,
we'll try our best in maybe March and definitely April to get back on track scheduling wise. But enough rambling. For those of you who are here and don't know where you are currently watching An Evening at the Movies. Greetings and salutations. For those of you who don't know, first-time viewers, welcome. But this is the podcast where we eat the stale popcorn, we drink the watered-down sodas, and we talk about all of our favorite movies and why we love them. As always, joined by the amazing co-hostess with the mostest on that side of my screen, because that's wrong on my screen, but evidently.
If I do this, am I pointing it? Oh no, I'm not. It's that way. Oh, it is opposite.
I am that way for you, and you are that way for me.
You're that way. Anyway.
Oh look. Say hi to everybody's favorite co-host, this Amanda.
Everybody say hi to me. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm here. It's Friday. What's up? Got some drinky drinks.
Well, we would expect nothing less from you. So, must have all the drinky drinks whenever we're doing the podcast.
It's been a good week for the Olympics. Sorry. Hey, stupid delays. Sorry, I've been watching the Olympics all week.
Definitely.
Been fun.
A good week for the Olympics. Not so good for the Grey's Anatomy fans.
Ugh, God, no. All right, well, Olympics first. The U.S. women won the gold in overtime, which was for hockey, which was amazing. The U.S. men are going to the gold medal game. That just got determined today. Alyssa Liu won the singles figure skating gold, first time in 24 years, 20 or 24, I guess 24 years that a U.S. girl has won the gold. Been since Sarah Hughes. And she was so cute and adorable and effortless. And the two Japanese girls that got the other medals, they were just all so adorable. So it made me feel a little inspired and teary-eyed. I liked it. For people that don't know, we are second in medal count. Norway is destroying everybody. 17 golds, we have 10. 37 total medals, we have 29. So not a surprise Norway does well in, winter sports, but there's one dude from there that has 5 gold medals on his own, a skier. It's like, the Michael Phelps of skiing.
I was going to say that basically is what it is. We have Michael Phelps during the summer. Well, not always because he's retired now, but we had a period of time where we had Michael Phelps in the summer. And truth be told, not making any excuses, but the Winter Olympics are not necessarily generally our cup of tea.
You mean as far as the U.S.? I mean,
Yeah.
True, but for me, it's my favorite. Like, not to disparage any athletes because I can't do anything. I can't even walk straight without falling down. But Summer Olympics are fun. But other than the gymnasts, nobody's really doing anything, death defying. It's like, how fast can you run? How fast can you swim? Let's see if you can throw this pole over a pit of sand. And in the Winter Olympics, it's like, can you please do jumps in sequence next to a person with these sharp knives on your feet and try not to slice each other's heads off? And can you do these death defying tricks and jumps off a mountain and try not to break your neck? Oh, and here, slide down this ice slide at 80 miles an hour with nothing between you and the ice except a helmet on your head and try not to die. Like,
Well, and like John Candy said in the movie that was inspired by said sport, bones don't just break in that sport; they shatter into a million pieces.
yeah. Well, and I wasn't talking about bobsled. I was talking about the luge, where it's
Oh
just one
well,
person sliding down, or the two-man luge, which I saw a tweet that said the two-person luge had to have been invented because two siblings were fighting over who got to go first and they couldn't decide. So one just laid on top of the other.
well, I mean, sexy ice sliding.
I wonder if they do rock, paper, scissors to see who has to be the top. Because with two dudes, you can definitely feel the junk in your butt. Like,
Yeah,
how do they decide that?
I
I
don't
feel
think
like,
I want to know, and that's definitely not a
yeah,
sport for me.
I feel
I'm
like
not
the
gonna lie.
Winter Olympic sports are all based on dares that just went too far. It was like, oh, you can ice skate and do a little twist. Here, I'm gonna jump. Oh, you can jump. Let me bring a partner over here, and I'll jump and do twists and try not to cut off his throat.
Right?
Anyway, but it's coming to
So,
an end, so it was a good run.
not until Sunday though,
Yeah.
and then we can get back to professional hockey on Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
So,
Good
but
times.
yes, like I did say though, unfortunately, um, since last we were here with you, 2026 has been a little bitch again and reared its ugly head. Seriously, 2026, can you fucking stop and let us have a little bit of a breather, please?
Right? Either that or shift your focus. That's all I'll say. If you're going to keep going like the bitch that you are, just shift your focus. I
Hmm.
mean, we're losing Eric Dane and Mitch McConnell still just walking around like the dead ass looking guy he is. And yeah, there's plenty of people you could shift
I
focus
didn't
to. That's I'm just saying.
specifically think that was where you wanted 2026 to shift its focus to, but
No, but Hot Wheels Abbott is already, down a couple of legs.
Guma?
Like it wouldn't be that hard. And obviously Cheeto in charge. Just there's just lots of old white guys out here that have had a good or whatever you want to call it life. Like stop taking Dawson Leary and McSteamy from us and Moira Rose. Fuck this shit. I mean, Robert Duvall was 95, so it was probably his time. He had a great career in life, but like Eric Dane,
yeah, but that's
51
still not
or
what
53.
like
Yeah.
I said when I think I said it to you when you officially told me that he passed. I'm like, that came out of nowhere. I
I
mean,
mean, he
even
only
at
been sick
90,
for like a year. Oh, you're talking about Robert Duvall. Yeah.
yeah, because like, yeah, he was 97, but at the same
95.
time, 95, whatever.
Yeah.
But
It basically doesn't matter at that point.
it's still like, yeah, I mean, obviously he was in the final countdown, but yeah, I didn't even realize that there was anything wrong with him other than the fact that he was old as shit.
Oh, I don't even know what he died from. I just assumed it was something to do with old age. I mean,
Oh,
At
I
95,
hope
you
it
don't ask a lot
was.
of questions.
No, and I don't necessarily think that the local coroner's office probably was asking a whole lot of. Oh no, 95. Well, sorry, we'll chalk that one up to old age.
I will say I felt a little bad yesterday because anytime I hear about ALS, I always go to that Friends episode with Phoebe where she's like, when Monica's like, the finds out that her mom didn't show her the ends of movies. And Monica's like, well, here, It's a Wonderful Life. It's built into the title. And she's like, oh, I fell for that with Pride of the Yankees. Oh, it's a movie about Yankee pride. And then bam, the guy gets Lou Gehrig's disease. And Richard's like, the guy was Lou Gehrig. Didn't you kind of see it coming? For people that don't know, ALS
Yeah.
used to be called Lou Gehrig's disease. So
Well, I
that
mean,
that line always cracks me up. The
in
guy
some
was
circles
Lou
it still is, but yeah.
Yeah.
Phoebe had no fucking chill, and I will say this though, as far as Phoebe's concerned and her having no chill, one, you and I talked about this one the other day because it freaking shocked me. But one, I'm glad that this summer they are doing a sequel to Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. Two, why am I 49 years old and just now realizing that Alan Cumming played Sandy Frink in that movie?
It's been a long time, and Alan is definitely different now, but yeah. Oh, Sandy Frank. Murder.
Traitors.
They have some good traders merch. I really wanted the sweater vest he was wearing that was like all sequined and it said murder across it. They have like hoodies and stuff, and I'm like, but can you please just make that sweater for sale? Because I would wear it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I fucking love that show, and
Yeah,
I'm
if
sorry
you guys
that
aren't watching
I'm.
the traders, you're missing out.
Yeah, especially if you like Amanda and I are a fan of certain genre of entertainment similar to like The Clue and that because Traders is very Clue-esque.
And it's very Big Brother-esque. Like, it's like Big Brother meets Fear Factor almost, in my opinion. And it's with celebrities. But the next
Till
season is
next
going to
season.
be regular people. And George has submitted his name in the ring for it. So yeah,
Woo! I
George would be a good
would
trader.
be I would be curious to see. He wouldn't get picked to be a trader.
Probably not. You're probably right, but
We couldn't get that lucky.
I think it.
See,
Well, it would be obvious to us because we know him, but for people that don't know him, he could probably play it off pretty well. I actually think he would be pretty good
yeah,
at that
I mean,
game. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
well, I mean, he gets picked and goes on and wins, and that'll help you pay off Casa de Vampire Part 2.
No shit. We're going to talk
So,
about that a little bit when we get into this movie, which I guess we should go ahead and do
oh,
since I've
that
been
topic,
blabbering on for 15 minutes.
not so much. Only 13 minutes and 43 seconds.
Let's just say this movie
So,
hits different as a homeowner adult than it did as a kid. So,
oh, I'm sure it does, and that's part of the reason why I picked it. And okay, hold on a second.
it physically hurt me to watch this movie at certain points because I was like, oh, I feel that like in my soul and in my bank account.
Say
Griffey,
hi.
hi, Griffey. Hi,
Okay,
Bubs. Hi, there, doggy.
go get mom. Okay, yeah, and
Hi,
that
Griffey.
no, go, Griffey,
Aw, you let him in, and now he wants to
go.
stay.
Oh yeah, he does, but the problem is he won't stay.
Poor little buddy. If you're not watching us on video, Griffey, Casey's dog, just made an appearance. He's a little cutie, but he's a lot, and he whines a lot. If you're a longtime listener, you know he's a handful. My little Jack is perfect, but he doesn't come in here and talk to me while I'm recording. And actually, at the new house, Pearl doesn't try to come bother me either, but I also have the door closed. So there you go.
Okay.
So yeah.
So sorry about that, peoples. But yeah, that's part of the
That's right.
reason
I was just
why.
talking.
That's part of the reason why I picked this movie as one of my selections for Slept On 80s Movies Month.
Yeah.
Was because I didn't feel like you were going to pick it because you already had a list of options that you were back and forth over
Yes, very much.
left and right. Even up until the last minute, I think you were back and forth. And do I want to pick this one? Do I want to pick that one? No, I
Yeah.
want this one. No, I want that one.
Oh, mother effer. Ah, mother effer. Okay, I'm all right.
No offense to the unpopped kernels, but this is why you guys did not get a vote this month because it was a pain in the ass for both of us to pick. We couldn't have picked 3 movies and left you guys with one option. No way.
This is a topic we could easily, it's a theme we could easily repeat. So we'll probably do it next year again.
Well, I mean, I even made the joke a few weeks back that I feel like we could almost do a year-long Slept On 80s Movies thing because
Yeah, potentially. There's a lot of good ones.
I mean, with the exception of one person that we both know very well, who shall remain nameless, DeAndre Robinson. The 80s was a fantastic decade for cinema.
Yeah, Dre's been having a good time lately shitting all over our 80s classics.
Bill
He
and
said
Ted's Excellent Adventure is not a horrible movie.
Oh, it's objectively not a good movie, but it's a great comedy and a lot of fun and hilarious. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not everybody's cup of tea, yes.
It was in the 80s. Everybody loved that movie.
Yeah. We're not talking about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's a whole another rabbit hole that we could definitely do a whole episode on that and create magic and wonderment. So, but really quick, like I said, we're discussing Slept On 80s movies this month. So the whole idea was we're talking about great movies from the 80s that don't get the credit that they deserve. Not that, the Goonies and Back to the Future and blah, 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 blah. Those are instant classics.
They get their flowers. They're fine. Yeah.
Exactly. But there's movies like, what the hell did we discuss 2 weeks ago? Schitt's Creek was last week. The week before was...
Oh my God, what was it? Here, let me check this is why I write shit down. Secret Admirer. It was my pick and I already forgot.
I'm sitting here like, okay, so this one is mine. We still have one of my...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Secret Admirer. Very underrated movie. This week's movie, great movie. Does not even get brought up anywhere near the amount of times that other movies.
Well, I understand why, and we'll get to it, but
yeah, but still, there's a lot of sides to a lot of coins for this movie, and the next 2 movies after that we're doing the rest of the month too as well are amazing movies that, again, don't get the credit that they deserve. And I mean, well,
anyway.
No, we'll get it. I'm not even making this statement until we get Papa Palpatine in here for that one. So, but yes, this week we are here to discuss the 1986 Tom Hanks slept on 80s movie, The Money Pit. And
This was one of my mom's favorite movies, so I watched it a lot growing up.
it was a great movie, in my opinion. But, and then obviously, if you've been with us for the last, 2.5 years, you will understand why this movie resonates in a different way for Amanda, because her and Jeej have been in the 18-year process of building and moving into their own house.
Which
And
is its own money pit.
well,
Not in the sense of stuff being broken down, but in the sense of sinking money into something that is way more than you signed up for.
well, and I feel like there has been not necessarily the same kinds of pitfalls per se, but
No, but it's
um,
just more money, more money, more money, more
there's
money.
been crap that has popped up out of nowhere and slapped you in the
Oh,
face.
yeah.
That, in a lot of ways, the same things like that happen to, you know, Tom Hanks and Shelley Long in this movie.
30% over budget. In this economy, 30% over budget. That's all I'm going to say. I won't tell you how much our house was supposed to cost or how much it ended up costing, but just know 30% over budget is a lot.
Especially when you get to that kind of money. And again,
Right.
I
don't want to like brag about it. So
no. I had literally zero indication that I was going to bring up dollars and cents with this discussion. But
yeah, no need to do that.
especially
But
when it comes, well, I was just going to say,
anytime
when it
you're
comes,
that much over budget for what you're intending to spend on anything, but especially an expensive custom home, like that's a lot of fucking money.
well, yeah, because you figure you have property, building, all of that goes into it. What
And
you
it's
guys
money
went
that you have
through
to
was not.
come up with. Sorry. It's money that you have to come up with. It wasn't built into your loan. So you start out with a construction loan for X amount of dollars. All of that 30% was out of our fucking pockets.
Ow.
Well,
You
we
don't want
refinanced
to.
our other house to excess equity, but still, that didn't cover it. So yeah,
Casa de Vampire, how I miss thee.
I feel their pain in this movie, financially speaking.
Well, I'm sure you do. So,
Like I said, makes it hit different. It's not as funny as a homeowning adult with a mortgage.
I'm not gonna lie though. I am excited for the day that I get to come and experience Casa de Vampire Part 2 in the flesh and blood.
Yeah,
Just
you'll
because
have to do it.
I've seen enough still pictures and videos and all of that. So I
Oh,
need to
real quick,
experience. Yes.
I want to show everybody my Taylor Swift wall. It's not done yet, but I'll just back
I
up
was
here
going to
real
bring
quick.
that up too, because if you know, you know. But Amanda sent me a old school picture of the Tay wall, and if you notice, the first time she turned the computer around, there's a little step ladder thing up against the wall right there. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How did you hang all of those pictures and not break your ankle?
So the vinyl shelves my dad helped me do today. Because George is always so busy and we've had plans every weekend. And my dad was here. I was like, you think you could come help me hang these little plastic shelves? So he helped me and we measured and did all that. But I did have to get up there to put the record on it. I've been extremely careful, is
Either
what's
way,
going on.
for you,
I'm being
going
extremely
above the
careful
ground and then coming back down and not hurting yourself?
because that's high up. That's like almost 10 feet up. So, yeah.
Exactly. I laugh and make fun, but as we all know,
Yeah.
I'm just as clumsy as you are.
I wouldn't
So,
say that, but
well,
you're also
I wouldn't
clumsy.
either. Good.
Ain't nobody as clumsy as me. Anyway, the money pit.
Yes.
Sorry, I deterred us showing off my Taylor Swift wall. It's almost
So,
done.
all right. So, um, the Money Pit released literally almost what 40 years ago to today
Wow.
on March 26th, 1986.
Nice.
It was directed by Richard Benjamin, released by Universal Pictures, had a $18.4 million budget.
Really? That seems like a lot.
Did you not see how big that house was?
Yeah, but I mean, they probably just had to rent the house. I guess all the construction for the
They probably had to
crap that
deconstruct and then
happens.
reconstruct the house.
That's true. They had to destroy a lot of stuff for this movie. Okay, okay.
That house looked like shit when Tom and Shelley bought it.
Well, it was
So,
deceptively, it looked very nice, but then you find out the whole
well,
place
and
is falling apart.
it gets worse from there. But yeah, so it made $55 million at the box office.
That tracks with the
So,
cast.
well, I mean, you had a couple fairly decent named actors. I mean, uh, no offense and no disrespect intended, but um, no, and Shelley didn't go on to the marquee career that Tom Hanks did. But
Well, no, but
this,
she was on Cheers. She was Diane.
well, no,
Everybody knew Diane from Cheers.
she
Oh,
was
I'm
smack
sorry.
dab. No, that's where exactly where I was going though. This is
Yeah,
right
sorry.
smack dab in the middle of her run on Cheers, and Cheers was one of the hottest shows of the '80s. I don't care who you are,
Yeah.
unless you were a little kid and wasn't allowed to stay up till 9 o'clock on a Thursday night.
Well, but they
Everybody
weren't
still watched
counting
it.
kids in the Nielsen rankings anyway, so it's fine.
True. So, like I said, $55 million box office. Um, the next three movies, well, including no Secret Admirer was a free one. So, but this week and the next two movies after this, we're sorry, but this is they're slept on '80s movies. You're not going to get them for free on the interwebs. You're going to have to pay the $3.99 to watch them, or whatever it costs to buy them, $7.99 or $4.99, I think,
Yeah.
for the other one. But so it's going to cost you to get to watch these. But
Yeah.
um, spoiler alert for my review: I don't care what anybody says. This movie is worth the $3.99 to go and rent it and watch it.
Well, I'm going to say a majority of people haven't even heard of our other two movies for this month. I don't know anybody besides like us and like the people I grew up with watching it, like my brother and my mom. Nobody's heard of Ruthless People, and I hadn't even heard of Young Sherlock Holmes. So these two are definitely slept on. Like nobody talks about them ever. So
And
clearly,
we're definitely gonna get into that, especially with the whole young Sherlock Holmes
yeah,
um, preview esque. But the movie was produced by Steven Spielberg. It was directed by Christopher Columbus. Um,
nice.
it didn't necessarily have the star-studded cast, but it had the backing behind it. Paramount Pictures, like I said, Spielberg, Christopher Columbus, blah 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 blah
I don't
blah.
know how I missed it. I really don't.
I, I really don't, because I feel like this is one of those movies that you would enjoy, because I know what kind
Yeah.
of things you like to watch and all of that. But we're gonna get into
Anyway,
that
yeah.
next week when we have Papa Palpatine here, and he'll be willing to throw all the shame in Amanda's direction
Yeah.
and call her uncultured and all of that, because that's what Papa Palpatine
Clearly.
does. So, game time.
Okay.
I have two scores. Rotten Tomato score and a popcorn meter score. Would you like
Okay.
to wager a guess as to what you think the critics and the audience thought of this movie?
So I know that this movie is loved by our generation, but I know that critics didn't like it, and I think I know why, and I will talk about it. Um, I think for the popcorn meter, no, let me do the tomato meter first. Tomato meter, I'm going to go like 55%. I don't think the critics really liked this. The popcorn meter, I don't know because it really depends on who's writing the reviews. Because if it's people our age, it would be good. But if it's newer people who are watching it for the first time, I know it's probably not well liked. I'm going to be generous and go,
I will say this: when you hear what the score is, you're gonna know who it was that wrote the reviews.
okay. Well, your tone makes me think I'm being too slutty now, but I'll do it anyway. I'm going to go 63% for the popcorn meter.
Ironically, you were off by 5% on both scores.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'll take that. Didn't cover the spread, but I'll take it.
So the tomato meter was 50% on 22
Ooh.
ratings.
All right.
So
Oh,
not
22. Okay.
many critics. 11 people liked it. 11 people didn't. So
All
go
right.
figure. And the popcorn meter was 58% on 50,000 plus reviews.
So not very many Gen Xers left reviews on this, is what you're saying.
That's why I said what I said. So yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
when you hear what the score is, you're gonna know it was millennials and Gen Zers that reviewed the movie.
I mean, I could definitely see Gen Zers not liking this because it's just not the kind of comedy they make anymore, really. And anyway, yeah, we'll get into it.
Well,
Let me tell
and
people.
no offense to, but this is not what Gen Zers think of when it comes to Tom Hanks.
True.
It's not your Forrest Gump. It's not Philadelphia. It's not Apollo 13. It's not Castaway. It's not those big,
Yeah.
amazing movies that we've come to be spoiled by that Tom Hanks does
Right.
anymore. Not saying that
Well,
this movie isn't great, but
right. So I couldn't find any award nominations for this movie. So at least there was no Razzies. Although I don't think the Razzies existed in '86, did they? Didn't they come? Well,
yes.
anyway, it doesn't matter. They did. Okay. But yeah, no awards. So for people that don't know, I'm going to tell you about the Money Pit. Attorney, bum, bum, bum. Attorney Walter Fielding and his musician girlfriend Anna Crowley buy a luxurious mansion for a surprisingly low price after being evicted from their apartment in New York City. The house immediately falls apart, leading to a comedic series of disastrous, expensive renovations, including a collapsing staircase and disappearing kitchen sink that threaten their finances and relationship. There is not a disappearing kitchen sink in this movie. Is there?
Disappearing bathtub.
Yeah, bathtub. Ooh. Okay, AI, you messed up that one. Who do I let know that Google AI messed up something on the plot summary?
I
Nobody.
don't think
Absolutely.
necessarily the bathtub disappeared. It just fell through the
It just
floor and
crashed.
shattered on the first floor.
Yeah, I
But
think it meant bathtub, but maybe thought that was a kitchen sink. But where would a kitchen sink fall to? Anyway, it's a bathtub. It crashes from the upper level to the bottom level. It's insane. There you go.
I mean, there's a lot of freaking shit that happens in this movie.
Yeah.
So,
So,
our thoughts on Google AI?
well, my thoughts on AI in general, even though sometimes it is very helpful. I really try not to use it, but it just sort of because it is bad for the environment and it's also terrifying to me because of what can be done with it, but it is also very helpful. So it's like it cuts both ways. It's yeah, just one of those things.
As you're
So
sitting
yeah.
here on the computer screen with my AI face behind you in the background.
I mean it's good. It's a good depiction. Um so yeah,
I I just haven't updated to the one that I had made that has all four of the An Evening at the Movies
oh
hostesses and
yeah.
hosts on it.
I mean you
So
could at least put me on there. Shit.
I haven't downloaded it to StreamYard yet. So I'll work on that while I'm uploading this episode to the interwebs
Yes,
tonight.
you will. Just kidding.
Mm. All right. So discussion time. First point before I get to the typical questions that we obviously get to each and every week. But for those of you who don't know, in 2013, NBC planned to do a TV series reboot of this movie.
Like a limited series or like just an ongoing.
It didn't say. All it said was NBC planned a TV series reboot that was put off and forgotten about.
I mean, yeah, because that sounds like a terrible idea. You can't make this an ongoing. What this inspired is a million HGTV shows. You can't make this an ongoing sitcom unless you do a different couple, a different house every season. But even then, it gets repetitive because
I guess who are you going to get to play Walter and Anna? Chip Carter Gaines and Joanna Gaines?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I could see a limited series because I feel like one of the things lacking in this movie is character development and like backstory. So it could be a decent limited series, but not like an ongoing thing.
So yeah, that kind of sort of segues into. I was going to save this one for second, but one of my. We'll just go ahead and go with the. Where does this movie fail in the areas that it
Let's
fails?
start with character development. I mean, you have
Yeah.
very little information to go on.
So
It
this movie literally starts off at his father and stepmother's wedding,
right.
and then fast forward to what 4 months later, however long later, I don't remember what it said, but you have Walter and Anna, you know, doing their thing, and he gets a postcard from his dad saying, "Hey, look at us, we got married," and it's like, okay, big fucking whoop, and clearly they bring up briefly the fact that the two of them don't have a great relationship, and then it's just tossed aside and whatever.
But also, you've got all these like past due bills, and then there's something later mentioned about you get the idea that his dad maybe scams people out of money, but then also he's saying this girl is
Yeah,
scamming the dad out of money. And what bothers me, I feel like they should have just left that out of the movie. The whole dad and stepmom thing should be eliminated because what they did at the end would have been so much funnier if we had had more backstory on that. but it wasn't relevant to the plot of the movie, so I get it. But when you end the movie with the dad basically getting swindled the same way they
Walter.
did,
Yeah.
yeah, Walter and Anna, the way they got swindled. It's really funny, except it's not, because we don't care enough about the dad and stepmom to even do anything more than chuckle. When you see Estelle and Carlos, you're like, oh, that's kind of funny. But we don't care enough about them for it to matter.
Well, that because they get brought up very briefly in the beginning, and then you
Right.
don't hear another thing about them for an hour and a half until you get to the last 90
Right.
seconds of the movie.
That made no sense, having that in the movie without any backstory. Because obviously, like you said, they give you the tiniest hint that Walter and his dad don't have a great relationship, and that maybe his dad is like, some kind of con artist businessman, almost Trump like kind of guy. But we don't get any more information. So we're not invested in Walter's relationship with his dad. We don't give a fuck. It's like we completely forget about that till the end. And it's like that ending would have been so funny if we had just gotten a little more information.
Yeah.
So that bummed me out.
So, to me personally, that is probably the biggest misfire in this movie is the lack of character development.
Yeah. I mean,
And it's not even just the dad thing either, but I mean,
no.
You don't even really get a whole lot of backstory into the whole Anna and Max
That was my other,
relationship
yeah.
either. Because
Like, why is she still living in this
obviously,
apartment with her new boyfriend?
yeah, no, because they obviously give you the necessary information that the two of them were married. They had a contentious relationship. Max is a douchebag, whatever. And they play off of it throughout the entire movie. But it's like, can you give us some more information, please?
Right. Like, you know nothing about their relationship. You know nothing about why it didn't work. I mean, the only thing you can take from it is, which is what I always say, this is just an example. It's cautionary tale. Don't dip your pen in the company ink. But the fact that they are colleagues, or, well, I guess not colleagues, he's technically her boss, but they worked together, they were married, and Walter is clearly jealous of him. So what is that dynamic about? Like, and they make Max so ridiculous that it's like, how is she even attracted to him? Like, maybe she was attracted to his skill as a, you know, composer or orchestra leader or whatever, but like,
Maestro.
it just doesn't. And again, it's an hour and a half movie. I get that they spent the majority of the time on this, like, you know, physical slapstick comedy with the house.
Yeah.
But again, that's the other thing about the movie that I think for us as kids it worked, but watching it as an adult, it's a little harder, because it's like it is really hard to make a movie work on one running joke, which is basically what this movie is. It's one long running joke. And there are times it's really funny, and there's other times where it's just like exasperating. And I'm not trying to shit on the movie, because I do still love it, but it's like, okay, like, I feel like it could have benefited from like a montage scene almost. Like, maybe with the fixing up of the house, at least. Like, where you get a little bit, because they kind of do it at the end, but really all you see is like the workers disappear, and you kind of, I feel like it could have benefited from like a minute and a half montage fun musical sequence, like a fun song in the back where you're seeing like progress being made, and like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I was going down that road, or I know it would slow down the flow of everything, but maybe chop it up into like a 10-part limited series. And I
Yeah,
know
I
they
could see
didn't
that.
do that as much back in the 80s,
Well, hardly ever.
but yeah, I mean,
I
most
mean,
of your quote
miniseries,
unquote
but
miniseries in the 80s were 2 or 3 parts, and that was it.
and they were all based off books. So they weren't taking movies and turning them into limited series. They were taking books and
Yeah.
turning them into miniseries.
Yeah. So I'm honestly just not a fan of. I would think that if they were going to do that, it'd probably be modernized now, and
Oh, for
I
sure,
just
for
don't.
sure.
I just don't think modernizing it is going to help the situation any.
I mean, I think it would be okay because i- if you watch enough HGTV, you know that these fixer-upper people face the same challenges. I mean, it could easily be you just make it like maybe they don't buy it as their home. Maybe they buy it to flip it. Although I think it's to me, it's funnier because they have to live there. So I think they would have to it would have to be their primary residence. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I think you could do it and I think you could make it more the problem is the other thing with this movie is that the tone shifts a lot where it's really funny and slapstick and then it's like serious, but it's like weird serious. And so I feel
Yeah.
like where he's like, "Oh, if you slept with Max, oh, it's okay. I won't mind. Just tell me." And then they have this one big
You
dramatic moment where they
whore.
have like but they just didn't set it up right to where you know what I mean? So I feel like if they did it as a series, it would be like a dramedy. It would be very much like you would have the comedic parts, but then I think those tone shifts would be more serious. Like you would have them crying and getting mad at each other and having this big fight about being unfaithful. You know, because in the movie it's just kind of like
Well,
I
unfortunately,
don't
they
know.
don't
I
get to
didn't
the
like the way it was
infidelity.
handled.
They really don't get to the infidelity until what the last 10 minutes of the movie, 15 minutes of the movie.
Right.
So it's like you spend all this time getting to that point, and then they literally that's when they dissolve everything visually into the you know missile testing
Yeah.
property and house into the big beautiful mansion that's completed and no construction workers and all of that, and them standing on the bottom floor while the one brother walks in and says, "Here's your key," and they can't even be in the same
Yeah.
side of the damn house.
And then 2 minutes later,
But
they made up and they're kissing and getting married. Like,
yeah,
it all
all
happens
because
very
he
fast.
literally said, "I don't." Again, if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert. But
Eh, it's 40 years old,
I'm
bro.
exactly. Uh, but for them to fight over what they were fighting over, and then literally to just have him say, "I don't care," and then live happily ever after,
Yeah. Well, and
it's
for her
like
to say
obviously you
he
care, otherwise you wouldn't have gotten pissed off, dude.
and for her to be like, "He couldn't forgive me, and I can't forgive him for that." Well, he thinks you fucked somebody else. Like, he shouldn't have to forgive you. But to be fair, he did set her up. He did say,
Mm,
"It's okay. I'll understand. I won't be mad." And then she finally tells him and he calls her a whore. Like, you can't have it both ways, bro. That
no,
whole I think they were trying to keep the movie so light that when they shifted to the heavy stuff, they didn't know how to handle it. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but obviously it's 80s movie style, you know. Like, I don't know.
so, was there any more negative aspects of this movie that you wanted to bring up, or can we wash away the negativity and get to some of the fun stuff about this movie, please?
I mean, did they not do home inspections in 1986? This movie is wildly unrealistic. There's no way you get $1 million house for $200,000 and you don't get an inspection and you don't get it appraised and all of the things that you do when you buy a house, like, I get what they were going for, but I feel like the story is supposed to feel realistic, and that is wildly unrealistic. So that's my last complaint. I still have fun watching it. I don't care, but if you want us to believe this could really happen,
Yeah, I think this is more set up to be a just suspend your disbelief and just enjoy the ride for the next 90 minutes because
like much of
we're
the
gonna have a
80s.
we're gonna have a good time. This is the 80s. It's the decade of decadence.
Yeah.
So
So, last thing I will say, because when I just said this before, I figured out what this movie needed. When I was saying it needed like a montage or whatever, this
movies.
movie would have really benefited from a 3 minute a baby montage where they have the little section with the music and they're showing them doing, the taking the
The
baby on a
boys
walk,
will
but then
be
also trying
boys,
to,
bad
yes,
boys, bad boys.
that is exactly what this movie needed. A fun pop song in the background, showing the pitfalls of the house, showing it being repaired, showing, him plugging something in. And like, I just feel like some of the gags went on too long. Like him being stuck in the floor in the rug, that went on for too long. That
Yeah,
could have
that
been
was
like
freaking hilarious. But
it was hilarious, but it went on too long.
well, because you get the part of the shtick where you had the inspector guy, building permit guy, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call him, shows up and he's trapped in the fucking blanket. Well, he showed up before he got home, and then he gets trapped in the blanket, and the guy gets pissed off and leaves again, and then Anna has to come home and go through the whole searching through the house. But I'm
Yeah.
in the. No,
That
you're
took
not. I was
way
in there.
too long.
Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. It's like just walk into the freaking room. Don't stand in the damn doorway.
Right. Like, if you had done a montage of, like, him falling into that, and then a few seconds like, fast forward and somebody finds him, or, like, when he
Yeah.
plugs in the thing and everything catches on fire, that could have been condensed, like and they could have added more things if they had just done maybe a 45-second montage, and it would have been funny because you would have had the, fun backup music. And because the rug thing was funny at first, and even with the inspector guy, "Oh, I can hear you laughing at me," like, that was kinda funny, but then it just dragged on, and I'm like, "How long are we gonna watch him be stuck in this hole?" Like,
The
and
funny
then when he
part
falls, it's
of
not even funny because 'cause you're like, "Okay, thank God that's over."
yeah, the funny part about the whole "I can hear you laughing" joke is the fact that like legitimately he was in pain and probably
Mhm.
crying, but a Tom Hanks cry has a very laughter like sound to
Right.
it.
Right.
So that could be confusing for somebody who doesn't necessarily know the character or know the actual real person.
Well, but they showed his face, so, like, I think if they had just shortened that scene, that would have been
I agree.
funnier, or if they had made it part of a montage, like I said. But I'm a big fan of montages when it comes to, like, movies like this, or like with 3 Men and a Baby, that was perfect because you get this fast forwarded version of how the guys are learning how to take care of this baby when they're three single guys that don't know what they're doing. So you don't have to spend 45 minutes to understand that they don't know how to take care of a baby, you know?
Or you're not spending freaking 15 minutes at the beginning of the movie watching the building of that mural out in the foyer.
Right, right.
So,
All right, well, let's move on to the good stuff because I feel like we're shitting on this movie, and there's objectively a lot of things about this movie that don't work, but we get to our nostalgia. This
there
movie's
is
amazing.
some great stuff about this movie, though. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
the physical comedy in this movie is
Great.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's Tom
Specifically,
Hanks. He's
like,
great at that.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people will go out and tell you that they felt like Big was his jumping off point as being taken as a serious actor. And
Yeah.
critically, there may be some truth to that statement.
Critically,
But
probably. Yeah.
I also feel like, you know, as an actor, he showed a lot of talent in this movie, being able to do the things
Mhm.
that he did as far as like physical comedy and stuff go. Like that
Yeah.
whole ordeal with the um, going down to get the bucket of water for Anna to take her bath
Yeah.
and ending up getting ejected out the freaking window into the thing and the Donkey Kong zip
It
zip
was
zip
like
all over.
Mousetrap.
Yeah, like it was like a mousetrap scene out of the game Mousetrap, and
Yeah.
he ends up in the damn fountain with the statue peeing on his head.
Yeah, I mean that was
Hilarious.
funny. Yeah, that whole all the scaffolding collapsing and yeah, like it was literally every time I watch it, like it's like Mousetrap where like this falls and then this falls and then yeah, like that was great. I have to say though, 4 months into this, still carrying up buckets of water to take a bath, I would have left. I would have been so done with this house.
No, yeah, because there's got to be some point in this whole ordeal where you've got to have an exit clause in this whole possibility. Like, if they
Yeah.
can't at the 4 months do the work that you are paying them to do, there's got to be some way of getting out of it.
Well, no, I mean, so again, as a person who has had a home built from scratch, builders take how long they're going to take. They'll tell you how long it takes, and then it'll take twice or three times as long, and that's just how long it takes. But yeah, it's like, and at that point, you're so financially invested. I get it, but like, if I can't have running water for 4 months, I don't know what I would do. Like, just no. And they're carrying the
Well,
buckets of water up ladders, not even stairs.
the other side of this coin, though, and not trying to shoot holes in your argument, but at least you and Jeej didn't have to live in the construction zone.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
They did.
But
So,
that's what I'm saying. If I had to live like that, I couldn't do it. There's no way.
no, exactly. And
I'd be like, fuck this shit.
wow, no. To quote
Um,
my former clients, fuck this shit, I'm out.
yeah. Or to quote one of my best friends when we were on vacation, she was drunk and we were trying to get her to grab her stuff from the pool chair. Fuck this shit ain't my shit. We say that all the time now because it's just like it works for everything. Fuck this shit ain't my shit. Although she was saying it about her actual shit, but it's okay. Um,
Come see, come saw.
so talking about like that part going to like the parts that are really funny. I think for me probably the funniest scene in the movie, and I'm thinking you'll probably agree with me, is the bathtub scene. Because I feel like not only is his reaction amazing, but it's almost like the movie itself is recognizing like the lunacy behind this entire scenario. When the bathtub crashes down to the first floor and his laugh is just like this maniacal, like, I have completely lost my shit. Send me to the loony house laugh. And I don't know how Shelley Long kept a straight face. Like, I really don't. Kudos to her because that laugh was everything. And it went on for a good 30 to 40 seconds. It was long. He's just like,
Yeah, it was a very Tom Hanks version of Eddie Murphy's laugh from the 80s.
well, and
Over
it's
the
something that
over the
Tom Hanks
top.
went on to do a little bit to like
Yeah.
that was kind of like his, he didn't do it as maniacally or, you can tell that Walter is on the edge of insanity in that scene, and it's really
Yeah, it
funny.
is.
Um, I wish they would have showed more of the house at the end, like more of the inside. That was kind of like, I know we're not still talking about complaints, but it was so beautiful. I really wanted to see more of it, and I wish they would have showed more of it. But in the 80s, those parquet floors and like all of that is just so like, or as Amber Heard calls them, parakeet floors.
Eh,
I'm
Spit them
standing
out.
on these parakeet floors. Jesus. Anyway, sorry. It was a beautiful house, for sure.
Yes. And to get it for only $200,000,
Yeah.
go figure.
What does okay? We were kids in the 80s, so I didn't know a lot of the slang. But when you get the Joe Montana character, the construction guy, and he's like, I thought she was good looking wool. What does good looking wool mean? Like, I don't get
I
the
have no
wool
clue.
part. Okay. If anybody is watching and knows, I
I
mean, maybe that's just a 80s way of saying she's hot, I'm assuming, but like, good
I
looking wool? What?
maybe your dad would know.
Yeah. Oh, they're in Galveston about to get on a cruise ship, so I don't think he's watching.
Galveston, oh, never mind.
um,
So that was the ulterior motive for them to come and see the new house.
yeah, they were on their way to Galveston, so they spent the night. And
We're going on vacation, but hey, while we're here,
yeah,
maybe
exactly.
can I stop by and see you, my favorite daughter?
Can we make a pit stop and sleep in your guest room? No, it was cool though. I took them to downtown Denton and showed them around the square, and there's lots of fun stuff. We went to a toy store and a comic book store, and I bought presents for my favorite little kid. I bought her a Choose Your Own Adventure book, which I didn't know they still made, but they do. There was a zombie one I almost bought for myself, but I didn't. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Good looking wool. Just he's here. Look at the
Ha
comment.
ha 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 ha.
He knew we were talking about him. Okay, Father, what does good looking wool mean when talking about a woman? Does it just mean she's hot, or was that like some 80s vernacular that we're not familiar with because we were babies in 1986?
Well,
We weren't. I was 8 in 1986, but
I was gonna say I was like 9 years old at the time.
yeah, I don't know what good looking wool meant, but I just took it. Obviously, he thought she was hot, but he's like sexually assaulting her. And Walter's like, yeah, but he's the best carpenter in town. And he's the only one that would come out here. So it's okay. You're fine. Dick.
Yeah, thank God he wasn't in the movie as much because he was an ass.
I also kind of wish we had known maybe just a tad more about Benny, because when she's like, where are you gonna get the money? I'm gonna go to Benny. You're gonna go to Benny himself? You're thinking he's going to like, Tommy Mottola or like, Quincy Jones or something. And he's in front of this little kid,
Yeah,
which
it's like
you
a
gotta think he's like the
10-year-old,
Justin Bieber of that
11-year-old
generation. Yeah.
billionaire child. And your dad chimed in with, I have no idea.
They probably said it a lot more crude in the army. That's why he doesn't know. Good looking wool was probably a respectable way to say whatever it is he's talking about. But yeah, Benny's like this 9-10-year-old kid who is clearly like sold a million records, but that wasn't really a thing in the 80s. I mean, you had teenagers doing that stuff. You had Debbie Gibson and Tiffany and but who is Benny? Like, I wish they would have given us like a little like video clip of Benny. Like,
again,
what kind of music does he make?
Development.
Because he's just asking a kid for $200,000, and it's like, and the kid's got an armed bodyguard. Like, make this make sense in 1986. Like, help us out.
Yeah.
That guy was ready to pull his gun as soon as Tom Hanks yelled at him.
And your dad says, I have heard it, but could only guess the meaning.
I mean, it's not a far leap to guess what I think he's talking about, but if that's what he meant, that's really disgusting to say to a person you just met.
Yeah.
Wool,
somebody who's
rug,
giving you-
carpet, drapes, I get it, but is that really what he meant? Because ew.
Yeah, say that to especially
Anyway.
somebody who's giving you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in money to remodel their house.
Who walks into someone's house and just immediately starts trying to kiss the woman of the house without even like any, like, I mean, Joe Mantegna is pretty hot. So not in this movie. I didn't like the weird facial hair, but
Your dad has a question for you.
who said it? The contractor, the construction guy, he comes in and he starts trying to kiss on the wife, and then, you know, husband breaks it up and he's like, I just thought she was a good-looking wool. And I was like, what does that mean? She's not wearing a sweater. Good-looking wool. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to Google it. Maybe Google AI won't fail me right now.
I was going to say, don't ask AI because they don't know the difference between a bathroom sink and a bathtub. So,
well, it just, I'm in an Urban Dictionary. This. Oh, well, that said real. This is talking about real wool. Let's Urban Dictionary it. Okay. So, what else did you love about the movie? Because I feel like, yeah, I don't want to know what Urban Dictionary says. We don't want a cold Carl moment.
I just felt like this was one of those movies, and again, not to go back and beat a dead horse, but the 80s was notorious for giving you movies where you don't have to think about it per se. You can just sit back and turn your brain off and
yeah.
Your dad said, thought I was going to get a chance to blow up someone's car.
I think, okay, so we are not, I think that he thinks we're maybe talking about The Godfather because we were talking about so George has never seen The Godfather. Pause for reaction. So I was telling my dad.
Hold on, before you continue. Where did it go?
Boo. Right?
And
so I was telling my dad he needs to help convince me. What was that supposed to be?
An explosion.
Oh. We're not talking about The Godfather. We're talking about The Money Pit. But yeah, so I was telling him he needs to help me convince George to watch The Godfather, which is on my list of things to do this weekend. We'll see if it actually happens. But I think George would like The Godfather. I think in some parts he's going to be like, this is slow, but I think he would like it. But no, we're not talking about The Godfather. We're talking about The Money Pit. So, yeah.
I feel like if he can get through 3.5 hours of part 1, he'll probably enjoy part 2 more than he does part 1.
I agree, but you have to watch part 1 to watch part 2. So, because I do think part 2 is, again, we've talked about this. There's very few sequels I will say are better than the original, but Godfather 2 is better than the first one.
Godfather 2, Empire Strikes Back,
Terminator 2.
Said it, mean it.
Yep. There's not very many. And you're going to kill me, but I'm going to say Ghostbusters 1 and 2 are tied. I said what I said.
I believe the phrase we're looking for is anyway.
Okay, so the other... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to go home with the fact that this is just... It's a pure entertainment movie that you don't have to think about. Just sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously, like we've done in the beginning of the discussion, you can pick it apart and complain about this being unrealistic or this not being right or whatever the case may be. But
Right.
you also, if you just shut your brain off and don't allow yourself to go into that mode, this movie can be fun and enjoyable and make you laugh and all of the good stuff and all of that. So
Yeah. I feel like it had a lot more potential though. I was thinking about one of my favorite parts. It's just like a real fast, funny part, but I feel like whoever wrote this joke, it was very Clue-esque. It was very like you had to be paying
because he
attention
was
to
a good
get
piece of
it.
wool.
No, not that. You had to be paying attention, but it was really funny. And I'm like, whoever wrote this joke could have contributed so many more things like that to the movie. And it's the part where Estelle is talking about her husband and why he's like deported or whatever, or being extradited. And it's like, she was like, oh, he was Hitler's pool guy. And then a few minutes later, they're in the car with Estelle, and Walter's like, you have the most immaculate pool I've ever seen. And she gets upset. And he's like, what did I say? That joke is so funny, but you have to be paying attention to hear that he's Hitler's pool guy. And then he mentions the pool because he doesn't know the story. Like, to
Yeah,
me, that felt very like Clue. Like, that was a very like low key, you have to be paying
communism
attention
is a red
joke,
herring.
but it's witty. Like, I wish this movie had had a little bit more of that wit,
Yeah.
but the physical comedy is the star, and I'm fine with that. It's really good.
So, a gentleman by the name of Michael Greenwald said that he truly enjoyed the movie, and of
Well, I
course he did because
remember.
he has a great taste in cinema, and
Well,
he passed that on to his children.
and between him and my mom, I saw this movie a lot growing up. It was one of those movies I think again was always played on HBO, and it was just as a kid you can watch it and laugh at the physical comedy without understanding the
Yeah.
relationship dynamics, and it's still really funny.
Well, no, because yeah, as a 49-year-old person who's never bought or built or remodeled a home, I can get the stuff now, but 40 years ago, yeah, it was all about the shenanigans and the stupid shit that always happens and all of that.
Yeah, it's funny to watch people get
So,
electrocuted. It's funny to watch stuff catch fire and, a bathtub fall
yeah,
from the second story of the first story and see a guy fall from the second story of the first story and not get killed. Like definitely had Home Alone. I feel like maybe took some cues from this movie about, the physical comedy without people dying. I mean, he fell from the second story when the stairs crashed. Then he fell again when he fell through that hole. Like, and he didn't even get hurt. Like,
no.
the most you saw him get
And,
hurt was with the band-aids on his fingers because she stepped on his fingers. So it's like,
yeah, but even then, he fell from the second floor, hanging off the second floor, onto the pile of stair rubble,
right.
flat back, and all he got was band-aids on his fingertips.
Exactly. He's walking like a normal guy, but all of his fingers are covered in bandages.
Yeah, that would not be my. I
Uh,
would do that, and I'd be in the freaking hospital for a month and a half.
yeah, that fall would have killed me. And for some reason, I feel like the house in this movie reminded me of the house in War of the Roses, where it feels like the second story is really, really high, like higher than a normal. That fall looked higher than a normal first to second story, whatever. So
Yeah.
anyway,
So, did
all
you
right.
have anything great about this movie that we haven't already discussed that you wanted to bring up before we move on to the top fives?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think, the physical comedy is great. I think, you know, even though there's lack of character development, what they did give us was good. I do kind of feel like Shelley Long just basically played Diane in this movie, but she was still cute and funny and relatable. Tom Hanks, being Tom Hanks was amazing. So yeah, lots to
I
laugh
feel
at,
like
lots to enjoy.
I feel like Anna was a little bit of a tuned down version of Diane. She wasn't as
Right.
much of a stick up the ass
True.
Diane, but you could definitely tell that, yeah, there is not much difference between Anna and Diane. So, um, do you have a top five that you would like to share with our amazing listeners and your father as well?
I do have a top five. So I went with my favorite houses from movies. Um, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I did not put any horror movie houses on my list. Sorry, the Elm Street house is not one of my favorites. Love the movie. It's not about the movie, it's about the house. I went with houses that I would like to live in. So, houses I've
Yeah,
seen in movies.
1428 Elm Street.
Fuck that shit, ain't my shit. Okay. Honorable mentions. Um, just barely missed the top five, the Beetlejuice house. And then I have
Yeah.
a couple that kind of go together. Well, I don't want to do that because then I don't know. Okay. The director's mansion from Scream 3, which to me looks a lot like the same house in The Godfather that director lived in. I've been meaning to Google that to see if, because it also kind of looks like the Bachelor Mansion, but I know that's not the same house, but I don't know. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
the Hocus Pocus house. And then I put the Money Pit as an honorable mention, but that house is gorgeous. So,
Especially when it's done.
Right.
It's not a bad looking house in the beginning. It looks like shit during the remodel, but then the finished product when they're done,
yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah, with its parakeet floors.
I don't want to know what that would go for nowadays.
My number 5 is the Addams Family house. It's dark and decrepit, but it's also witchy and beautiful. And if I were in the Addams Family, I would totally live there.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it creepy and is it kooky?
It's mysterious and also spooky.
Ooh.
Number 4 is the house from The Proposal, the Alaska house. My dad says Weekend at Bernie's house for me. Without dead Bernie, hopefully, but a beach house is definitely on the list for sure.
Hey, freaking! I like Bernie's house.
No, I'm saying the house is great. I just don't want to have to deal with Bernie. Number 4 is the Alaska house and The Proposal. And that house kind of goes along with some of my honorable mentions that I didn't mention, but also the Family Stone house and Stepmom. Those houses also kind of go along the same lines as the house from The Proposal, but they're just fucking gorgeous. I would die to live in that house.
To the window, to the wall, to the swing, to my
wall. To the wall. I love that movie. Number 3, I tied because I couldn't choose between these two, and they kind of go together. The Clue Mansion and the Knives Out Mansion. I would pay real ass money to live in either one of those houses. So, number 2 and number 1 are houses I grew up living as a kid. They're going to be no surprise to anyone because I think everybody loves these houses as well. Number 2 is the Home Alone house. And number 1 is the Father of the Bride house. And again, those two kind of go together along with some of the other ones I mentioned. I mean, you could kind of put all those family houses together in one thing, but they're just all so beautiful. And yeah. The Father of the Bride house, I dreamed of living in a house like that.
I can see why you went the direction you went and left the horror off, though, because obviously you could have Freddy's house, you could have the Myers house, you could have the Amityville horror house.
Right. I went with houses I would personally like to live in.
The Poltergeist house. And look at that. We're already 4 out of 5.
I will say as a kid, I thought the Poltergeist house was like I thought they were so rich. But when I was
Yeah.
a kid, I thought if you had stairs in your house, and especially if you had a pool, you were like next level rich because, we just didn't live in places
I
like that.
mean,
And that's fine, but stairs and a pool,
even
you
if
were rich.
the pool had legitimate dead bodies in it.
Yeah. So I
Aha.
could have gone a
So,
different way with like architecturally what are my favorite houses, but I just went with houses I would have liked to live in. So there you go.
so the top 5 that I'm bringing for your gracious consideration, that I may or may not piss off my co-host,
Uh-oh.
but I'm going with top 5 Tom Hanks roles that are slept on Tom Hanks roles.
Okay.
So obviously, hats off for Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, Apollo 13, Big, all of those.
Castaway. Yeah.
They Castaway. They get again all the credit. They get all the attention and credit that they deserve. But we're gonna go with some roles that don't get as much recognition for the greatness that they are.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I have
I have some ideas.
four.
I'm ready to see. Okay.
I have 4 honorable mentions,
Oh, geez. Okay.
and well, when you see everything I
No, I
have
know.
on this list,
I get
you
it.
know it's hard to even put them in order. I'm sitting here staring at my list, and I'm like, I don't know if I have these in the right order or not. But so the honorable mentions, I'm not going to put in an order from best to worst.
Right.
I'm just going to say Mr. White from That Thing You Do.
Oh, yeah. Love that
Uh,
movie.
Alan Bauer from Splash.
Splash? Okay. Yeah.
And then we're going to get to the portion of this list that he very rarely gets any credit for. And that's not his
Okay.
movie roles, but it's his TV roles.
Okay.
So initially it was going to be top 5 Tom Hanks slept on movies, but I
Right.
changed it to roles because I totally forgot about 2 amazing TV roles that he had. That one very briefly for like 2 or 3 episodes, and the other was like a 2-season run on a sitcom. But honorable mention number 3, Kip slash Buffy from Bosom Buddies,
Mm-hmm.
and honorable mention number 4, Uncle Ned on Family Ties.
Oh, yeah. I don't even really remember that. Okay.
It, like that was the one that he was only in like 3 episodes, I think. One of
Okay.
which you get to meet the character. The next one, he's like embezzling money from his bank, and then the last one, he's an alcoholic dealing with all of that, and
Mm.
yeah, it. So okay, number
Okay.
5, um, Ray Peterson from The Burbs.
Yes.
Um, number 4, Walter Fielding from The Money Pit.
Yes.
Um, number 3, Pep Strebeck from The
Yes.
Dragnet. Number 2, I feel like is another Tom Hanks movie that not a lot of people have watched or checked out, and it actually is a lot better than people think it would be. But it's David Basner from Nothing in Common.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Okay. Good one.
And number 1, oh my God, this movie was so hilarious, and it's actually a movie that Brandy requested for our cop movie month, but it,
Okay.
it may or not have made the cut. But Scott Turner, Turner and Hooch.
Yes. Wait a minute. Okay, so those are all amazing choices, but like Carl Hannity, Catch Me If You Can, Captain
I
Phillips. Maybe Captain Phillips is a little too popular, but Catch Me If You Can is so like
while I was thinking,
people forget
Catch
about
Me If
that.
You Can and Captain Phillips were more in the um,
Okay, that's fair.
mainstream. They get a lot of credit. I was trying to
And
think of the off the wall stuff.
Robert Langdon,
Basically,
but I guess that's still kind of popular
oh
too.
no, again, it's still yeah. So at the end of the day, Tom Hanks
Okay.
is an amazing actor with one hell of a resume, and
The
2026 keep
only
your damn hands
other
off.
please. The only other one I would submit for your approval is Joe from Joe versus the Volcano, because nobody likes that movie but me, I think. But yeah, those were
Yeah,
good choices.
that was probably if I had put 5 movies on my honorable mentions, Joe from Joe versus Volcano would have been my fifth honorable mention. Not
Or
that
Joe
it's
Fox from You've Got Mail, which is another big one. I get it, but just FOX.
so, but Joe versus Volcano is a great movie and it's freaking
I
hilarious.
agree.
And
I agree. And him and Meg Ryan have some of the best chemistry, which is why they've been in 3 movies together. So
coming soon, eventually on An Evening at the Movies. We just
You've
have to
Got
find a
Mail.
way to fit it into it. Oh, damn it! My headset cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
All right. So I got to go make dinner. So let's do our reviews and let these people go do whatever else they have to do because we've been talking their ears off and we're glad you're still
Sure.
here and hope you enjoy it.
Your dad's still listening, so
Well, he just started listening, but that's fair.
hey, I don't care when he freaking starts. A listen is a listen, no matter where it happens. So
I agree.
we got it. It counts. On with the show.
Check it off. I love this movie. You know, again, it's got its flaws for sure, but obviously nostalgia plays a big factor into this. Loved it as a kid. As a kid, the physical comedy in this movie is hilarious. Also, as a kid, this house is a mansion. You know what I mean? So it's like, even though it's got its problems, you're like, oh, look at them fixing up this mansion and it's so fancy and, you know, whatever. Everybody's a little over the top, but it just works. I also loved at the end when they get married that they had Max and the orchestra and the band that Joe's the lawyer for like come together. Like I thought that was really cute. So, or wait, not Joe, Walter. Sorry, I'm still on Joe. Yes. I am going to give this movie, I'll try to be a little objective. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 collapsing staircases. Because that scene was hilarious too.
Yeah, yeah. No, for all the same reasons that Amanda said. Clearly, this movie isn't anywhere near perfect, but it's still an enjoyable part of my childhood that I could still watch and laugh my ass off at from minute 1 all the way through to minute 130 some odd. So, or an hour and 30 some odd minutes in. I mean, it's classic Tom Hanks. Shelley, I almost said Shelley Duvall. Shelley Long is incredible. Max, the guy who plays Max, is
Fabio.
hilarious.
It's not Fabio, but he might as well be.
Yeah, that's what I think of whenever I see him in the numerous things that he's done. Uh, it's a great movie, and again, to steal the line from Ferris Bueller, um, if you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up. So if you have not seen this movie, I highly recommend picking it up because it is so choice.
If you have ever built or renovated a home, this movie will speak to you. Again, different watching it as a kid as it is as an adult, but yeah, it's still funny. It's funny, haha, versus funny, ugh, but it's still funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not all fun and games when it's your hundreds of thousands of dollars that's being dumped into the money pit. So I'm gonna give this 4.25 peeing on your head statues out of five.
Nice. Which is just creepy, by the way. Why do people put up statues of children with their genitals? Like, I don't understand it. Like, I get if it's like the David. That's an adult man. It's the David. It's like a classical sculpture, but like, I don't need a little cherub with his tiny little penis peeing into a little pond. Like, that's gross. Anyway,
Well, I mean,
it's pervy.
when it first came out, I didn't necessarily notice all the nuances of the Nevermind album either until I bought the
Yeah.
CD and
That is child pornography.
uh-huh.
Stop it.
Kurt was not in the Epstein
Anyway,
files though.
well, he could have been. You never know, but
Hey,
maybe
hey,
that's
hey.
how he got murdered. You don't know.
Do no, no. Do
No, I
not
don't think
take this
so.
from me.
I
I
highly
don't
doubt it.
I don't see Kurt and Jeffrey Epstein
I don't
running
think
in the
Seattle
same
grunge people
circles.
were. I don't know. You never know. Anyway, let's not go
I
there.
mean, rabbit holes. We're not going down that one. So, but this was definitely a lot of fun. Again, as always, can't leave without saying thank you to the Unpop Kernels for being here each and every week. You guys are incredible. You're amazing. You're awesome, and all the fun stuff um, coming up on an evening at the movies. We have 2 more weeks of slept on 80s movies.
Which we may
So,
need to combine into
um,
1 week. We got to figure that out because end of February is
well,
next week.
yeah, that's why I kind of sort of figuring we're going to probably more than likely have a busy week this week.
But count me out for Friday because Scream 7 comes out and I'm going to opening night because fuck yeah. Sign me up.
I don't hear you.
I need to go get one of the cool popcorn buckets. There's like 3 different theaters that have really, really like badass popcorn buckets for this movie. So I gotta go get one.
So, we will be trying our best, like I said, to bring you both movies that are promised to you. Being Ruthless People and Young Sherlock Holmes.
Speaking of Shelley Long, we got
So,
another Shelley Long movie. I love it. I just now realized that.
and then coming up in March, because I made the promise on the anniversary episode that I would let you know what we are doing in March.
I already know my movies.
Well, I know you're, and damn it, it didn't pop up with the. Mm,
We'll stop at March, but we're doing female-led movies in March.
yeah, it's female-led movies. The choice that the Unpop Kernels made um, is we will be talking about Hidden Figures. My choice individually is we will be talking Wicked for Good. Um, Amanda picked
Bad Moms.
Bad Moms, which I actually watched the other night for the very first time. Don't shoot me. You can wait till that episode. You can shoot me on that episode.
I
And
can't believe
then
you
we
didn't
have
message me while you were watching it for the first time. I needed live updates. Bad Moms is amazing. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
it was like 11:30 at the night in the night.
Oh, for you?
West
Yeah,
Coast
I was
time.
asleep. Okay.
Yeah, and then we've got a fourth movie that I don't remember off the top of my head.
Could I call an audible and just
So,
make it Troop Beverly Hills and continue the Shelley Long train?
I mean,
No,
if
we
you want, go
picked
right ahead.
we picked another movie. I just can't remember what it is either. So that's cool. We'll figure it
Oh,
out.
oh. No, no audibles. You would shoot yourself if you called an audible and pulled this one off the schedule.
Okay.
The OG Elwood.
Oh, that's right. Legally Blonde. Yeah, that's correct. Okay.
So
We'll
yes.
find time for Troop
Reese,
Beverly Hills.
Wicked, Hidden Figures, and oh my, Bad Moms.
Bad Moms.
So, and then we get to the beginning of March, and I'll let you know what's coming up in April. We've
Yeah.
gone on long enough, and it's time to go home, and it's time for people in Texas to go eat their dinner.
Yes, it is.
So, with that said, thank you guys for being here. I'm going to turn the microphone over to the co-hostess because only she knows how to do this and do it well. So, thank you guys for being here. I will see you guys next week. Co-hostess, the floor is yours.
Thanks to my dad for watching and commenting, and everybody wish happy
Thanks,
birthday
Michael.
to my stepmom. Tomorrow is her birthday, and they are embarking on a cruise, so they'll be having all their fun. Everybody else that's watched and listened, we appreciate you. We thank you. We hope you enjoyed this amazing episode of a great 80s slept on movie, and we hope you come back for more Evening of the Movies. Goodbye.
He's in hair grease.
And USA, USA, just for the Olympics, USA.